The thing about toxic relationships is they don't always feel toxic or bad. They feel confusing. When looking at a relationship, you cannot purely measure it by how much you love a person. Love is important, but alone, it doesn't mean too much. If you're not healthy in the relationship, if you're only degrading in the relationship, if you feel confused and unlovable because of the relationship and of this person. I'm speaking from experience today, and I wouldn't have gotten out of the relationship sane or as well as I did, being what it was, if I didn't have an outside person tell me that it was not okay. But sometimes you don't have those people. I was just very lucky this person came along. If you do not have this person, let me be this person for you today. Because this is a heavy topic, me and Soulless, we understand. So we're going to have a little bit of discernment today, and we're just going to talk about some patterns that if you recognize, then this is not a healthy place to be for you. And my hope for you is that you'll come out of this video having a clearer idea of what this relationship is really meant to do in your life. Is it a chapter? Is it a phase? Is this person actually okay? Are they just going through a phase possibly? Or do I need to get out of this burning building right now? And I just want to mention this for a second so that the conversation we're about to have right now you don't take lightly, because it can seem like we can go through all these things and you can make excuses and you can just go on living how you were, especially if you're a young girl or this is like a first or newish love. You should be extra careful. I can speak from a woman's perspective. I know men go through their own thing with women, I imagine, but women go through this specific thing sometimes with men where they find an unhealthy man and it hurts them really bad. And not to scare you or anything, but after I got out of my relationship, I didn't want to process it. I still haven't pinpointed the reason completely, but maybe it's because it made me uncomfortable. Part of it was embarrassing, and especially talking about it is embarrassing, or the idea of it was embarrassing at first. I think I'm warming up to the concept now that we're together, but it was really hard to set up the camera and start this video specifically. I think it's because it carries so many heavy emotions. I didn't process it, and it didn't really hit me until, I don't know if you know about this case in the news, but it was David and Celeste. And I can't speak on full authority about this case specifically, even if like he didn't do it, whatever it is, I'll explain in a second. I know that there's a girl out there, many women, who have gone through this same scenario, even if this specific one isn't true. There was this singer, David, he's quite popular, you might have heard of him. And I didn't really look into him, like I listened to his songs, but when this came out, Celeste was said to have not had the best family relations. Like she didn't feel as comfortable or supportive at home. And especially when you're having like family problems or you feel like you're in a low point in your life, you're especially vulnerable to this. And she probably met this singer guy and they ran away together for a while, and she did streams with him and she spent time with him, and then she ended up dead in the trunk of his Tesla in a tow yard. I cannot speak with full authority on it, but I'm just explaining how that hit me. I saw the story and it hit me so hard, and I wasn't sure why for the first while. Even like there was this song he wrote about Celeste, and it's such a beautiful song, and I just sat there and I cried to the song because it hit me that could have been me in a way. What's also just really common with women is that whenever they feel like they're an honest person and they've communicated everything to their partner, they just kind of expect the same back. They don't sit there and they don't think the worst of the person. Like, oh, what if he's a psychopath? Oh, what if he's, gonna kill me and put me in the trunk of his Tesla? You don't think about these things. When you're an honest person and you have genuine intentions, you just kind of assume that they reciprocate that back. Now, even if it's not as extreme as you ending up dead, this is still not something that you should ignore. Not only have I been in a toxic relationship, I've also seen it through a very close person to me. We're going to start off with a little bit of a maybe. This isn't a concrete. I do believe people can change. I still want to have hope in humanity, and especially in the person you love. But just if this sign complements any of the other red flags, then you should probably take it as a hint. I absolutely did not take it as a hint, so don't feel bad. I don't want this to come from a place of, how could you not notice this? How could you have let this happen? Because we all want love. Like, that's just something humans strive for. So I think we need to be compassionate, and you need to be compassionate towards yourself as well while we listen to these. He told me that he had multiple relationships before me, and it was around 6 or 7. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be different. And he also told me that I was his longest relationship. Our relationship was 7 months long. What did those girls see that so fast? What did they see so fast that they left him so instantly? Just be cautious, the perspective of, Sir has had a lot of girls, but in the sense that it was so short, it ended so quickly for some reason. He's not looking for a long-term relationship, or there's a problem in him that he has not resolved. Probably. Especially if it's paired with other signs. If it's affecting you mentally, the right person would notice and try to help you. But especially if it's affecting you physically, the person should absolutely be concerned. But if they don't even notice, that shows their true colors and how much they care about you. And you might try to be sympathetic and be like, oh, they're just busy at this time. It's a busy part of their life. But something else is, if you continue to try to see it from their perspective all the time, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, maybe he's doing this, and you're picking apart his actions, it's not, he did this action, he shouldn't have done that. It's, oh, but in the past he used to have this trauma, he used to have this with his parents, he had this with a past partner. And you try to see it from their view. This is your partner, your person. They should be noticing. Not saying they shouldn't make mistakes. We're human. But a person who really cares about you will be there for you. They will be there for you. You should feel supported, especially as a woman. And that also shows your maturity level of you're trying to step out of your shoes to take the perspective of this person and be so caring and generous with your energy and your time and the way they've treated you, that you're putting yourself in their shoes. Like, you're taking yourself out of your hurt and pain, and you're like, oh, but they did it because X, Y, and Z, when they would never reciprocate the same back. That is something I've seen, and it's been so painful to watch. And oftentimes the person is just so loving and compassionate, because they tell the truth. They expect the other person to do the same. You are stepping into that person's shoes. You expect them to step into your shoes. This also kind of goes into selfishness, but if they only call you when they need it, not when you need support, there's none of that care. It's you come and you try to express like, hey, could we spend some time together? And it's, oh, I'm tired. Even if that person is tired, they will oftentimes put an effort. I'm in a very healthy relationship right now, and he has school in the morning, he has work, and if I texted in the morning the other day, and I was like, yeah, I'm having some tummy issues, and he called me in the evening after school and work, and he's like, hey, like, how are your tummy issues? And that was really sweet. That's genuine care. He was tired and he called me anyway. If they care about you, even if they fail to show up, at least they try. Even trying is like, okay, great, you showed up for me, thank you. But if they only call you when they need you, when they feel lonely, when they need you to fulfill a need, that's not a man that's gonna take care of you for the rest of your life, and who's gonna protect you when you need it, and who's gonna think about your needs in advance. Also, something that goes into needs, especially for women, when they make things sexual with you, and I'm gonna hold your hand here. Give me your hand, I'm serious. We're gonna hold hands. just because he loves your body or he makes you feel needed physically does not mean that he loves you. It does not mean he's going to take care of you. It doesn't mean he cares about your emotions and your future together because he makes you feel needed in that moment. That's not a man. That's a loser. We do not accept this type of loser behavior. I have this desire, I have this human desire, which is normal, but I cannot suppress it even if you don't want to or you feel terrible or you feel uncomfortable because this is my need. Very selfish. Selfishness is a big one. And something that was part of my story specifically is it felt like a very good and happy relationship. But then month after month, their true colors begin to show and you reference the good months or years. And you're like, oh, but they used to do all these nice things for me. Oh, but they're just tired. Again, stepping into their shoes, but you have such a kind perspective because you don't have those bad intentions. And I'm so proud of you for that. And when you do get out of this, or if you are already out of this, or if you're in it, I want to ask you not to lose your kindness. It's so easy to be like, oh, I gave him kindness, and look what happened to me. I want you to step above that and be like, okay, kindness was not the problem. This person was the problem. Your kindness is not the problem. Also, just pay attention to yourself and think. Let me ask you this question and answer as honestly as you can. Are you becoming more yourself with this person? Are they adding something to your life? Are they encouraging you to be your best self? Are you becoming more yourself? Or are you losing yourself and becoming less of yourself? What effect does this person have on you? Is it positive or is it negative? If you need to, and I had to do this, because your judgment is so clouded sometimes when you're in this. If you feel like you can't answer that, or if you need some help answering that, pull out a piece of paper and just draw a T-chart, go cons and pros. Those actually helped me a lot. I used to calculate percentages of how our month has gone together, just so I could visually see that the relationship is going down because I felt so delusional. What a terrible feeling it is to have to not be able to answer questions about yourself. And if you need the help, visually it sounds a little nuts and bolts, but it was very helpful for me to see visually how this person was treating me. And try to be as honest with yourself as possible on this piece of paper and just put cons, am I losing myself? Pros, am I becoming better with this person? I tried my best not to frame it in the way of like, these 6 things tell you if your relationship is toxic. Sometimes you can't just base it on the short term of if they do this thing, that's just that. Maybe they really are going through a hard period in their life and you're just questioning things a little bit because he's made mistakes and he's treated you badly. But if you still have hope for the relationship, which I understand, it's good to look at the long term. Does he include me in his goals? Is he saying, yeah, I'm studying in college and I'm planning to get this job for us? Or, trying to plan in terms of where you guys want to live together, talking about future plans. But when he talks about them, does he include you in it in a positive, uplifting manner? Of, I want to get us a house. I want to work as hard as possible for you. I'm going to get better for you. I'm going to fix these problems for you. And it's such a toxic cycle, especially with if they've done it once, if they've done it twice, 3 times, 4 times, and they say, I want to change. I want to change. And then they don't change. He probably genuinely does want to change. He probably has that, oh, I should probably do it. But not everybody has the mental power to do it because it's hard. It's important to understand that it is hard. And if he's trying, that is very different than from if he's telling you that he's planning to try or he is telling you about how he should try. That is so different. We do not accept such losers here. Isn't that right? Solus and I, we really do want the best for you. I hope you're doing okay, love. If you notice that you soften what you say to protect his feelings or protect yourself from his reaction, you should be comfortable to tell your partner things. I'm not saying all things are super comfortable to talk about. But if you notice that you have to soften unnecessary things because you're afraid he's going to have a super emotional reaction, weak men are very emotional and not in the good way. School shooters? No, this is a very extreme example, but school shooters? That was a very emotional decision. Like, I'm going to go kill this person and their life. That is a very impulse, weak decision. I'm going to grab my gun and I'm going to go to a school and I'm just going to do this. So what about the consequences? So what about all the parents who are going to suffer? All the kids that are going to lose their lives who didn't want to? Hitting walls, getting frustrated, showing the frustration in unacceptable manners, in childish manners. That is not emotional intelligence. That is a very childish way to behave. And generally men are bigger than women, which is why abuses happen. Because these are men who have emotions and who are weak and cannot control those emotions. To be able to look at your emotions, understand them, process them, get past them, and do something about them, that is emotional intelligence. But if he's having a tantrum, that is a man that cannot control his emotions. And if he cannot control his emotions, that is very scary because he is bigger than you. I've worried many times for friends who've had boyfriends and men who cannot control their emotions. And I could only make that discernment after my toxic relationship. But once I saw that, I sat down and I had a conversation with him, and it doesn't always hit him. And I just really want it to hit you because this is dangerous. If you see that he's a man who cannot control his emotions, that is one of the clearest signs you can have that he's not ready to have a serious relationship. You don't feel like sharing the little things about your day or something positive that you experienced or something exciting that's coming up. You don't feel like sharing those things is important anymore because the person just dismisses them. It's analyzing if that person has that selfishness in them and disregard for you. Solus, can you hold my mic just for a second, buddy? You want some? Can you hear the bubbles? I hear the bubbles. I'm just curious if the mic hears the bubbles. If you notice that you've asked this person to improve multiple times and they promise you they will, and you feel this discouragement in bringing up issues to them anymore because it feels like those issues don't get resolved, that is not a man who's going to protect you. If he cannot resolve your issues, if he doesn't, one, care about your issues, it's not going to mean anything to him. And two, if he can't even put in any action to resolve them, that's not the type of person you want to have around. You want your parents to be able to help you in a time of crisis. You want your friends to be able to help you if you need the help. Especially you want your partner, because he's the other half of you, especially as a man. Especially as a man. Men should be able to solve problems. They have a very logical brain. It already shows a flaw if they aren't willing to solve problems for you. This is one of the most toxic, painful things I've had to witness with somebody very close I know, but if this person is manipulating the scenarios that you witnessed yourself and he witnessed, if he's manipulating them in a way that is blaming you and solely you, and he's trying to avoid very heavily any sort of blame, even though you have so much proof that you've seen and heard with your own eyes, especially if you ever make a mistake, and he makes so many mistakes, and anytime you try to talk to him about it or get some closure, he'll bring up your mistake that you resolved and fixed already. He'll bring up that mistake, and he'll continue to bring it up because that's all he has against you. And I just don't want you to get into the cycle of believing that that is actually what happened. Please have some discernment, especially in something like this. And if you feel that you constantly have to fix things, if you constantly feel like you have to bring it up to him, you have to explain to him that this is not okay, you have to try to fix things, I'm so sorry your relationship isn't the way you want it to be, but it is not your job to go and tell a grown man how to behave like a grown man. I love you so much. In case somebody hasn't told you in a while. This is one of the toughest situations to understand. And I know that you might feel like maybe if you have already gone to someone and you explain it to them and they're like, why don't you just leave this guy? It's not that easy. Because there are so many heavy emotions involved. This person that had to pull me out of my relationship, it's not that they physically had to come up and grab me and pull me out. Because you will only leave with your decision making. It is your decision, ultimately. All they can do is point you in the right direction. I say pull me out because this person opened my eyes to what was really happening. It's tough. And I just want to acknowledge that. I want to be on your side for once, in case you haven't felt that recently. Ending a relationship is not easy. You'll feel confused. You'll feel bad. But you'll feel worse if something happens to you or if you get even more traumatized. Please take the things we talked about and think about it. Pull out that piece of paper. Write a pros and cons chart. Do the percentages. I know it is so draining to be with a toxic person. Take as much energy as you have left and use it into bettering your situation or leaving this person if necessary. I would love to say hi to you in the comments. I know this was such a deep and personal talk. I would love to know if this helped you out in any way. And I'd love to say hi back. I respond to all the comments, my love. If you comment, I will see it. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope that I could have planted a seed or could have helped you in some way, whether it's in comfort or in discernment. Me and Solace would love to see you again. So do subscribe.